So we'll close up with Karsten Mueller here. Well, my first game of this kind was Elite way back then and loved it. I did too, Karsten. I absolutely did. Now it's Elite Dangerous Horizon is out, and I kind of like it, except for the fact that they put stupid politics factions in it. When it comes to Star Citizen, I do not have that game and most likely won't buy it either because, as is, there's plenty of stuff that is not done, delayed, and what have you. Nope, not buying it. I don't blame you, Karsten. This could be an incredibly bad mistake for me. And I'm not joking about it. But I wouldn't even be having this discussion with you guys if I did not have confidence in my ability to keep this thing limited to, a couple hours, a couple hours a week, set times, and maybe a little goofing off here and there when I'm not, working or spending time with the lovely Natasha in our new little house, which we're renting, which we're very happy with. We have a brand new little kitten too, and that's all fun, and I like that much better than playing computer games and sitting at home watching the sun go down and having dinner out on the porch is the best, certainly the best experience I've ever had in my life. So I don't want to do anything that would take away from that, but she has work to do sometimes too, and I really I need to have some fun. I mean, I just put it as plainly as I can. I really need to have some fun, and I think this would be a lot of fun, and I suppose we're going to find out. So I think, let me see, I think I'll probably do it. I'm going to go back to the page. I wasn't watching the comments for a while there. So yeah, I think that'll do it. And for those of people who've been asking about the movies, is this going to replace the movies? It's not. The movies are. I'm working. It's very hard to make the transition because there's so much work I have to do at BillWhittle.com. I just to stay, with my just to tread water, just keep my nose above the water. I have to, put out 5 right angles a week, probably 5 or 6 of these after hours a week, and and a bunch of other stuff too. So it adds up. But I think that I need the relaxation more than I need the 2 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try. And besides, we might get something really cool out of it. Who knows? Maybe this will be the thing that you stumble on, and you never know what you never know. Anyway, I know this show was a very limited appeal to most people out there, and that's okay. We were fairly warned on the Facebook page, but it is a. I'll just close with just 2 summations. As I said, I think if I'd been born a year earlier, certainly 2 or 3 years earlier, I would have missed the whole thing. I just would have missed the computer thing. It would have been computers. I don't understand computers. And if I'd been born later, I wouldn't have been there at the at the inception. I wouldn't have been there and watched it go from scratch. The first computer I ever saw printed out on the green and white screens. There wasn't even a monitor on it. So I have a lifelong interest in this, and as I said, the first software I ever wrote was to simulate the creation of a solar system, so I have a very high level of interest in simulating things. And I think I can't put my finger on it, but watching people recreate reality and how each one of these tasks are broken down into such small little subtasks. If you just watch a guy playing with the lighting, for example, in one of the rooms, it just blow your mind. It's interesting to see an army of very talented people at work, and their entire goal is to see how realistic they can make things in our minds, in the computer. That is interesting to me for a number of reasons in the real world. So that's number 1. And number 2, we've always talked about, reaching young people. I'm doing those TPUSA videos for kids, and they may have some effect on them because they'll be prisoners in school. They can't escape. But I've felt for a long time that, action, adventure, science fiction movies were the way to reach young people. And it's slowly entering my thick skull here that this might, in fact, be a way to get a series of movies done, not only for free, but, well, free minus the cost of getting the thing in. It's just interesting, and I think it's going to get more interesting. One thing I've noticed all my life is with Eject. We did this Ejectia thing. We had this virtual city that we just didn't have the technology or the money for in 2006, 7, something like that. But one thing I've found is that, like DCS, is if you disperse an idea, people will bring stuff to the idea that's much better than you could have ever come up with on your own. And for instance, if you read Lord of the Rings, if you read the trilogy, I've got a pretty good imagination. I had a good mental picture of Lord of the Rings, but I couldn't come anything close to what 200 of the best artists in the world could do, putting everything in. A good movie works that way too. A writer will write a character, and you put everything you've got into this character, or maybe a little less for lower ranking characters in terms of screen time. And if you give it to a bad actor, he's going to come in with less than you gave him. But if you give it to a good actor, and that's most of them, they're going to come in knowing more about a person that you created than you do. And they will say, I don't think this is right for him. And you realize, yeah, I think that actor's right. And the greatest thrill is when an actor, or especially an actor, brings in something because they don't have to worry about the whole movie. They don't have to worry about 30 characters. They don't have to worry about the plot. They have to worry about one character. And many times a good actor will bring in stuff that as a writer and director, you just sit back and go, oh, that is just fantastic. It's fabulous. It's fun to watch things get better than they would be if you had 100% control over them. This is a lesson I think our Democratic friends could probably learn. That lesson being that you cannot plan an economy better with 10 people in a room in Washington than you can with 300 million people working in the real world in real time. It just can't be done. It's orders and orders and orders of magnitude too complex to be understood by 5-year plans and planning boards and all the rest. You've got to get back and let it go. Let it do its thing. Watch it evolve. There's a lot about this age that I don't like. I'm not pleased watching the erosion of so many important values, but the technology has always been cool. And, I've often felt that technology may be saving us, if anything's going to. The fact that we're having this conversation right now is an indication that we've got a tool that, previous civilizations didn't have. So I'm going to give it a little try. And I'll give it enough try to do it. And if it doesn't take off politically as any influential use, that's fine. We'll still have some fun. But just for the last time, for those of you that may come late, if you're serious, and we mean serious, I'm not joking around about serious. You want to take this just as a social experiment and as a fun experiment in your spare time. If you want to take it seriously, like it's actually real, I'm very interested in that. And a lot less so than people treating it like a game. So anyway, I'll be thinking about it some more. What time is it? It's 7:30. I got to make a phone call, and I might end up putting a little more work into the firewall shot list. But thanks again for watching. Sorry about the audio and sorry about the late start. They're asking me to do a 21st century, they're asking me to make a 21st century internet show out of stone, knives, and bearskins. And it's harder than it looks. All right. So I think that'll do it. Again, thanks to everybody. Special thanks, as always, to our members at BillWhittle.com that keep this little, wonderland of geekdom liquid and lit and electrified and all the rest of it. We will be looking for just some more of the regular content, getting serious about that. But we'll play around a little bit and see what happens. So